Hi, good evening, everyone. Please ask everyone to join in. We'll start the session. Okay. So, till the point everyone joins in, let us let us begin by understanding what we can do with the remaining days that we have and how we can score good marks in CUET. See, number one, if I want to get through DSC, IGIDR, and JNU, these are the three that I'm going to go ahead and keep in mind. So the score which we should be targeting is 330 to 340. This is our target score. And from the discussion that we have had till now, we understand I think I've had since yesterday discussion with about 100 plus students. And what I have gone ahead and I have understood is that what is missing in you guys is practice. It is not that you don't know the concept, it is that you do not go ahead and you do not understand the problem solving part. This is what you guys have highlighted to me, that the problem solving is not clear. It's live beta, it's not premiere don't come on the live side. That's a basic fundament of YouTube. Let's discuss the actual things here, please. Okay, so we have understood that you're not practicing enough. It's not that you don't know the concept. For example, you would know what a Cobb-Douglas function is. You would know what its general formula is, how to find x, how to find y. But because you did not practice this as part of your MCQs, you could not solve it with full confidence in the exam, right? That is what is missing. So now, and I have seen many of you asking, ma'am, whether to do basic, whether to do intermediate, whether to do advanced. I am answering this for once and for all, that for CUET, you can either do basic plus intermediate if you are from the integrated batch, or you can do advanced. It is fine. Because why I focus on advanced? Because I know most of you have done this while giving your IIT ka exam or GATE exam. So I know that you have already done this thing. But it is very, very important that now you stop looking back at lectures. You are spending 10 hours of your study. And out of these, suppose you're studying for 10 hours. And out of these 10 hours, if you are spending 6 to 7 hours only looking at lecture again and again and again, you will not score good marks. I can give you in handwriting today. I can give you that in writing. You would not score good marks. To score good marks, you have to practice now. You need to understand the wording of different questions, what that question means and how the different questions differ. That is what you have to analyze now. That is the whole. So, for example, very simple example I will give you. Suppose in a question, if someone is asking you risk premium versus insurance premium, these are two very different things. But we know that for risk premium, there can be only three things: negative, positive, zero. Right? So we don't have to really spend time finding these values. We know कि exam में अगर पूछेगा तो वो negative, positive, zero पूछ सकता है. How to find that? We should know that. Certainty equivalent से कैसे निकालते हैं. But we should also know that there are three possibilities: negative, positive, and zero. But अगर exam में insurance premium आएगा, so insurance premium can never be negative. the premium you're going to pay to an insurance company is going to be positive, right? So pehle you have to get yourself averse with the type of question here and the type of question here. And how will this come? Only if you do enough practice. अगर इसको 10 बार भी पढ़ लोगे, फॉर्मूला को 10 बार भी याद कर लोगे, if you keep revising the formula, if you keep reading the chapter, but you do not understand the formula solving part, the question solving part, you will not do well in exam. So first thing that you have to go ahead and you have to do is solve questions. And how can we resolve this thing? Number one, all of you have to do past year question paper of CUET from 2018 onwards. 2018 से सारे past year question आपको करने ही करने हैं. But in this, the most difficult and tricky one is the 2025 question paper. Now, why is this 2025 question paper difficult? I have analyzed the entire thing for you and we have understood few things जिस पे हमें focus करना है. First of all, we have understood that in the 2025 question paper, although maths के question कम हो सकते हैं, the mathematical part can be less, but the maths rigor is there. In the 2025 paper, they have used terms like Euler's theorem. They have used terms like quasi-concavity. They have used terms like quasi-convexity. Mane, they have used these terms. If you have not studied Sitt-Sater and Hammond properly, अगर आपको ये book अच्छे से नहीं आती है, या Sitt-Sater and Hammond या AC Chiang, one of the two, then you will not be able to answer these questions. And maths is one thing which if you understand well, so it's a sure shot marks for you. तो नंबर वन, सिमिलरली इन्होंने मैथ्स प्लस माइक्रो को क्लब करके दे हैव आस्क्ड क्वेश्चंस ऑन कंज्यूमर सरप्लस. But these questions are not easy because the demand function used is quadratic. So I have to know my integration very well. मुझे integration बहुत अच्छे से आना चाहिए. Right? So if I give you today that P is equal to 100 minus root Q, and when price is 40 and price changes to 50, find change in consumer surplus, you should be able to solve this question. और ये कैसे solve होगा? First you have to, for these prices, you have to find the corresponding quantities. Then you have to find the area under the curve to find consumer surplus. And you have to also find not consumer surplus but change in consumer surplus. तो पहला चीज जो हमें आता है, समझ में आ रहा है, by looking at the past year paper is the amount of mathematical rigor. वो कम नहीं है. Don't underestimate the amount of maths that is being asked in your CUT paper. That's the first thing. कम हो गए questions, number of questions may be less, but the questions are good quality questions. Number two, what we have noticed in the last CUT paper is usage of the term not, usage of the term except, etc. These terms are used very commonly. Or what this is doing is it is playing with your psychology, and what it is doing is it is making you trap in each statement. तो अगर मैं बोल दूं कि which of the following statement is not true, rather than asking you which of the following statement is true, जब मैं बोलती हूँ which of the following statement is not true, it means you have to analyze each of the four statements again and again to see कि इसमें से ऐसा कौन सा निकल के आ रहा है जो true नहीं होगा. You have to do more analysis when the statement is asking for not true. True को identify करना easy होता है. True में elimination process is also easy. क्योंकि तीन स्टेटमेंट्स फॉल्स होती हैं, सो टू गेट आउट द फॉल्स स्टेटमेंट इज इजियर. बट व्हेन थ्री स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू एंड ओनली वन इज फॉल्स, it becomes difficult for your mind to process. So one, that they have used the term not true and that plays with your mind. Similarly, they have used the term except. Again, it plays with your mind that all of the following are true except. Yeah, all of the following are false except. Now, again, when words like except are used or when negative statements are used, this is a high cognitive paper. It becomes high cognitive. माने उसमें दिमाग ज्यादा लगता है. It takes more time to answer those things then, right? It makes it more confusing in that case. And then what we have noticed, the next thing that you will notice in 2025 paper is that there have been a lot of conceptual distractions also. Again, something which should be noticed in this paper. बहुत ज्यादा distractions हैं. जैसे for example, in questions of Pareto optima, if you don't know the difference between equity, fairness versus Pareto optimality, अगर आपको इन चीजों के बीच में डिफरेंस नहीं पता, that is a Pareto optimal solution fair? Is a fair solution Pareto optimal? So if you cannot distinguish between different terms, अगर आप इन टर्म्स के बीच में डिस्टिंग्विश नहीं कर सकते हो, then you are trapped, because we have seen that in the last year's paper there have been a lot of such conceptual distractions, conceptual questions. ठीक है. Similarly, we have also seen that last year paper was an excellent paper to give you classification trap. If you notice again the last year paper, you will realize कि पिछले साल उन्होंने words कैसे यूज किए हैं. जैसे for example there was a question on money market. ये सब आपके it should be on your tips now कि last year के पेपर में क्या क्या आया है. By now, when only 20-25 days are left, like it is in my mind, it should be in your mind कि 25 का paper this came, 24 paper this came. That has to be the amount of practice which you have to do. So in last year's paper, they used the term money at call and short notice. So this is again coming from the balance sheet of the RBI and balance sheet of banks, right? So जब उन्होंने Indian economy में, when they use the term that you have to understand about RBI, that means that you should also know about the balance sheet of RBI कि एसेट साइड पे क्या क्या आ रहा है एंड लाइबिलिटी साइड पे क्या क्या आ रहा है. Similarly, if I talk about commercial bank, so you have to know the balance sheet of commercial bank कि एसेट साइड पे क्या क्या है, लाइबिलिटी साइड पे क्या क्या है. So you have to analyze the last year's paper, not only last year's paper. What I mean is that you have to analyze all the paper from 2018 onwards. You have to understand the background from which the examiner is coming. किस background से examiner आपके पास आ रहा है. And thinking about that, after understanding the background of the examiner, then you have to go ahead and you have to prepare yourself, right? So it's high time that you stop looking at the basic concepts again and again and again. That is not helping you guys. अगर मैं आज भी दोबारा जाके फिर से मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी, टोटल यूटिलिटी और वट एवर दीज थिंग्स आर, हाँ, वेदर इफ आई गो एंड अगेन स्टडी दैट, अगर मैं आज दोबारा जाके फिलिप्स कर्व भी पढ़ रही हूँ, इफ टुडे अगेन आई एम गोइंग एंड आई एम स्टडिंग ISLM गर्व, then I can guarantee you cannot clear the exam. You have to change the strategy of how you study. And the strategy has to be problem solving. The strategy has to be paper solving. The strategy has to be solving questions. So how many questions should we be solving, ma'am, in a day? कितने questions हमें solve करने चाहिए? First of all, we need to do all past year question papers. सारे past year question papers from 2018 onwards. I look into the doubts also that you guys have and answer that, but just listen to me first. All past year question papers from 2018 onwards have to be done. Secondly, beta, you have to go back and do the question bank of CUET. Third, you have to do all mock paper of CUET. I can send you screenshot of your seniors telling me that questions were asked as is from the mock paper. हर साल question mock paper से आते ही आते हैं. They repeat themselves. You have to do the mock papers. Now, once you're done with these three things, जब ये तीनों चीजें हो जाएंगी, once you're done with this, then you will pick up on the JNU paper SSS and JNU paper SIS. and you will go ahead and you will do 5-year papers of before it ended, before JNU and came as part of CUET, उससे पहले के 5 साल के पेपर JNU SSS के and JNU SIS के, that means total 10 papers you will be solving. ठीक है, बट ये चीजें यू विल बी डूइंग वन इन वन डे. तो इफ आई start today, so I will dedicate the next 3 hours only solving 2025 का पेपर CUT का. Tomorrow I will do 2024 CUT paper. Then 23 में there were two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. So 2023 phase 1 I will solve the next day. Phase 2 I will solve the next day. One day I will pick 1 3-hour paper and solve. This is what my agenda should be. Apart from this, जब मैं ये 3 घंटे इस पेपर को दे दिया, when I have given my 3 hours to this paper, then ma'am, what about the remaining hours? I have already told all of you in the group कि 10 hours we have to study at any cost. You go to college, you don't go to college, I don't mind, but you have to give 10 hours of your time to studying. So now what next? So now I am giving you the agenda for next 6 days first. Day 1 to day 6. Right? Day 1, you will begin with consumer behavior and you will wrap up consumer behavior thoroughly. माने all things related to utility, all things related to indifference curve, revealed preference, consumer surplus, but you will skim through. Skim through कैसे करोगे कि बेटा if you have done things through variant, या फिर you have done things through Snyder, या फिर you have done things through HL Ahuja, I don't mind. आपने जिस भी बुक से कभी पढ़ा हो, I understand you have already made notes from my videos. So number 1, you will look into those video notes. Of course, आप वीडियो लेक्चर नहीं सुन सकते हो. You will never be able to wrap up the lectures in one day. You have to look at the notes you have created. You have to open up one of the books जिससे भी आपने पढ़ा है and you have to skim through. कि अच्छा ठीक है, like if I were in your place मैं क्या करती? Suppose if I am studying utility from Varian. Varian is my favorite book. What I will do? Okay, page 1, it talks about indifference curve. इसका क्या क्या properties लिखा है? Look through. Okay, monotonicity. Okay, convexity. Okay, this property, that property. Okay, it talks about indifference map. Okay, it talks about substitute good. Okay, it talks about complementary good. ये min function होता है, इसमें किस रेशियो में आता है. I will skim through. I don't have time. I only have 20-25 days in hand. अगर मैं सिर्फ कंज्यूमर थ्योरी पे 5 दिन दूंगी, I won't be able to finish the syllabus. I have to skim through the things that, okay, now I know this, I know this, I know this. Okay, revealed preference. Okay, from ma'am's lecture, I will once look at warp, one numerical. Okay, SARP, one numerical. Okay, done. Okay, consumer surplus. I understand what is consumer surplus. I understand what is deadweight loss. What is producer surplus. इसको मैंने अच्छे से देखा हुआ है. I understand how to calculate tax incidence में consumer producer surplus. This is in basic video lectures. Okay, ma'am, I have done. So you have to skim through. So day 1, that is the first day, today, you have to skim through consumer behavior thoroughly. Then on day 2, similarly, you have to do for production and cost. You have to master Cobb-Douglas production function. आपको पता होना चाहिए returns to scale versus returns to variable proportion में क्या difference है. You have to understand what is Euler's theorem. You have to understand what is elasticity of substitution. You have to skim through. आपको पता होना चाहिए, because it has been asked in the past year paper, how to calculate total cost from marginal cost. 90% students had done this incorrectly. बिकॉज उन्होंने कांस्टेंट इंक्लूड नहीं किया था इंटीग्रेट करते हुए. सो यू हैव टू नो हाउ टू गो फ्रॉम टोटल मार्जिनल कॉस्ट टू टोटल कॉस्ट टू मार्जिनल कॉस्ट. व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन डिफरेंट कॉस्ट? हाउ डज लॉन्ग रन एवरेज कॉस्ट envelop all the short run average cost? This is day 2. You do production and cost completely. Day 3, you do market structure. And in market structure, you do perfect competition and you do monopoly. इन मोनोपोली यू कवर फर्स्ट डिग्री, सेकेंड डिग्री, थर्ड डिग्री, हर एक से रिलेटेड एक एक न्यूमेरिकल, डेडवेट लॉस. डे 4 you do market structure part 2, in which you do game theory model, क्योंकि game theory every year it gets repeated. So you practice all type of game theory. एक simultaneous से related, एक sequential से related, और एक mixed strategy निकालना. Then you do Cournot, Bertrand and Stackelberg, जिसमें you revise the formulas, make a formula sheet out of it. So if tomorrow I show you a minus c upon n plus 1, आपको पता होना चाहिए ये कूर्नो का इंडिविजुअल आउटपुट है. If I ask you what is Bertrand paradox, you should know P equal to MC condition is Bertrand paradox. If I ask you in Stackelberg quantity of Stackelberg, is it more than quantity of Cournot for leader? Answer should be true. Is quantity of Stackelberg for follower less than quantity of Cournot for follower? ऐसा क्वेश्चंस, लिंकिंग देम. Is it true? Is it false? ठीक है. So you will finish oligopoly thoroughly. You will know what is king demand curve. Right? What are the reaction curves? Right? And monopolistic. Day 5, you will do welfare. And day 6, you will spend some time on externalities and public good. But this is not more than 1 hour. So you will start with maths foundation. And day 7, you will wrap up maths. Not more than 2 days on maths. Because maths deserves only that much. Maths में जितना हमने marathons में किया है is more than enough. What will you focus on? You will focus on matrix, determinant, linear programming. You will focus on difference equation, differential equation. And at last, you will focus on quasi-concavity, quasi-convexity definition. 1 question on each and revision of the marathons. So in 7 days, हाँ, अगर यहाँ कहीं पे time बचे in day 1 to 6, revise some more part of maths. Suppose you think, ma'am, production and cost, I could finish up in 3 to 4 hours. I have time left. Good. You pick up set theory here in the night. You do some quant in the night, but wrap up maths. So in 7 days, the next 7 days is where you will wrap up micro and maths completely A to Z. कुछ भी नहीं बचना चाहिए. Right? You should be left up with nothing when we go ahead and when we talk about the next few days of the CUT part. Okay. Now, this is the next 7 days ka plan. Now, what I have done also, just give me a minute. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you something, what I have done today. Because as I said, the entire thing is about practice now. So I have gone ahead and I have created the problem set for you day wise. Okay. And for today, I am going to share day 1 problem set with all of you. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to solve that thoroughly before you go ahead and you come and meet me tomorrow. So this is day 1 problem set. And I am just going to share it. So you will notice that I have created 150 questions. You have to do each question in about 1 minute maximum. Okay, so you have to spend 150 minutes on solving these 150 questions, in which I have included numericals. I have included who gave what. I have included mathematical numericals based on the past year papers. All that I have included. And for PYQs, every day you pick up one paper. That's right. So I've gone ahead and I've included these three things, and I've created a 150 question bank for day one. Apart from whatever I have told you to practice, you have to, as I said, practice, practice, practice. Understand concepts through practice. Don't spend a lot of time wasting on your video lectures now. This is not the time to do that, right? So, for example, if this is question one on match the following, you have to go ahead and tell who gave what, right? What is the meaning of cardinal utility? What is the meaning of ordinal utility? So you will notice that these are the questions on match the following. And similarly, if I just go here, you will also notice that after match the following, there are questions on who gave what, who introduced consumer surplus, who introduced indifference curve analysis, who introduced revealed preference theory, right? And then there are numerical based questions, just like have been asked in the past few year papers. So, or based on the day that I am giving you, just say if day one is for consumer behavior, this entire assignment is only based on consumer behavior. ये पूरा का पूरा assignment आपका consumer behavior पे based है. If you cannot do this, then I'm sorry. I mean, I have done my part. I have done whatever I can do to help you guys. Now it is your chance to sit down and to solve. So whatever questions I give you, you pick up a notebook. Just say, for example, I read this question. In one line, I will summarize this question in my notebook. What? I will summarize that cardinal utility is anything which is in number. This is my summary. If I were you, I would have written one line and done. So I understand cardinal utility is number. If I were you, I would have written ordinal utility ranking. This is the speed with which I will make my notes, right? I know indifference curve, okay, it's the locus of same utility. This is how I would have prepared short notes for my revision. And budget line, okay, I understand it is price income constraint. Done. And if I know a concept like budget line, I know no need to even write it. You look at a question and you see, okay, I know this thing. Done. You look at a question and you think, okay, this is where I am learning something new. Ma'am, ये मुझे नहीं आता था, ये मैं इससे सीखी हूँ. So, okay, I will go ahead and I will write it down in my notebook. So, ma'am, I understand that Marshall gave this, Hicks gave this, Samuelson gave this, Lutsky gave this. I will just write it down because I didn't know that. So, tomorrow, if I have to, again, I will not open the portal. In the last 7 days that ma'am has kept for revision, I am going to revise it like this, right? Same goes here, right? So if I know this concept good enough, if I don't know this concept, I will make short-handed notes within seconds and I will move on to the next question. You have to do question practicing. The more questions you practice, the more preparation you're going to go ahead and do for your coming exam. I only have this suggestion for you, right? मतलब अभी भी I am seeing on group that you are stuck understanding the concept. It's high time you do practice of the questions now. I will post it on the portal bit. I've already given it to the team. Maximum by 7:30 it should be on the portal. YouTube live between IIT and GATE. I was unable to cover CUT specific ones. It's okay. We will be doing a lot of more revision. If you haven't done, don't waste your time. Just do these questions. Whenever we do more practice, whenever we pick up on more questions, you can attend those. You have to. This does not cover the PYQ. PYQ has to be done separately in a timed manner now. So PYQ should be considered as an actual exam. You sit for 3 hours and you solve one past year question completely, past year paper completely. Don't consider it like a question bank. Consider it like a typical paper which you're giving. So it's like this. When I was your age, every day I would sit in the night from 10 to 1 a.m. and I would pick up one paper and I would think that this is the paper which I have to score 100% marks. And I would make sure that I attempt each question like it's the final exam. So today, when you sit at night, those 3 hours you're dedicating to preparing yourself for an actual exam, right? So that is what the PYQ is going to help you for. These questions you're not doing in a timely manner. The PYQ needs to be done in a certain amount of time, right? So, for example, CUT mein to you only need 1.5 hours now. I am talking about my era when DSC was 3 hours. So you sit in a timely manner and you get that done. Yes, we will cover Indian economy, public dev, everything I will cover in the next 20 days. We'll finish up everything. Don't worry. Exactly. So when you solve these questions, you automatically get the logic behind it. Like, for example, the example which I was giving you, this one. This is, I have put this question just in today's assignment. Huh? When price is 40, when price goes to 50, find change in consumer surplus. I have added this in the assignment today. So when you solve this question, you will automatically understand the concept of consumer surplus, how it is used, right? And then if you don't understand it, you can revisit the video on the portal. But the idea is that you understand the concept through problem solving now, not by theoretical aspects now. You do it only as part of revision now. Don't spend time only on econometrics at this point. I have dedicated about 1.5, 2 days to econometrics. You wrap up in that. Just look at the econometrics full video lecture, full syllabus video lecture I have posted on YouTube as part of recorded site. Get the notes for that from us and you just revise econometrics through that. No, it's not to be purchased separately. It's already on the portal beta. I mean, this is something which I will be creating on daily basis for your revision. So today I've created for this topic. आज का है consumer theory पे. Uh, it's not something that is monetized separately. Intertemporal is not CVT topic? No, not really. सिर्फ उसका budget line याद कर लो. That's it. Particular author's book. I get that. And it is difficult to find any book with, if you're asking for CUT preparation, which has good questions. I suggest not following it. Just many students, they said that they're using R Gupta, I think, for CUT preparation. Number one, उसमें बहुत सारे answers गलत है. And number two, उसका level does not match the level of the CUT exam that came last year. Are demand questions also included in today's paper? They are, yes. Econometrics best revision to go through question bank on the portal? Yes. As I said, I have already created a PDF to revise econometrics. Last year, I'd asked her to share it. I'll just check with the team, whether it's already there on your portal or not. You can also use that PDF to revise econometrics. We will dedicate about 1.5 months to ISI preparation after we are done with CUET. I mean, we always go in a sequence, So we have wrapped up IIT, we have wrapped up GATE. Abhi we'll wrap up CUET and we'll wrap up ISI. Uske baad we'll wrap up MSc. We'll go for IIFT, we'll go for Jamia. So don't worry. जैसे जैसे exams and we go to the next one. From economical current affairs, how should we cover? So, see, one, you have to go back and you have to look at the budget and survey for the last 3 to 4 years. Two, again, as I said, doing the PYQs are going to help you a lot. जब आप past year paper करते हो, you get an idea of what kind of questions are being asked in the paper, and you can cover those topics accordingly. Number three, there are already videos available on the portal which talk about different committees, which talk about different policies introduced by the government, which talk about different years, what came in the banking sector, what came in other sector. That is going to help. Number four, there is also a chronology playlist on YouTube that I created, जिसमें मैंने हर policy से related एक chronology बनाया है. And even now, every morning I am doing a small short on UGC net, जिसमें such questions are asked कि, for example, NABARD came in which year, SEBI came in which year. So you can just have a look at those chronology videos also. But this is the only thing which is बहुत अनएक्सपेक्टेड. माने सबसे मुश्किल है ये बताना कि करंट अफेयर्स में क्या आएगा, राइट? एंड माइंड यू, जो लास्ट ईयर टॉप भी किया था, द पर्सन हु टॉप्ड, द स्कोर वाज इन द रेंज ऑफ 240 आउट ऑफ 300. माने even if you leave Indian economy का current affair part, you can actually top all India in CUET. So always do the part which is expected first. Unexpected हमेशा लास्ट में करो. Most scoring and most asked subject. So I can divide entire CUET in two parts. एक को हम बोल सकते हैं core, जिससे about 60 to 70% of the paper will come, and the remaining 30% will come from others. Core is of course micro, macro, maths and stats. Others is econometrics, public eco, international eco, and Indian economy. You don't have any author book like Varian Ahuja, no problem, Sarvesh. The books are available online in PDF format. You can always take it from me. Varian also, Snyder also, HL Ahuja also. I have them in the PDF format. Just take it from me. But otherwise, if you have made the notes, they are not required. ठीक है, कहीं कहीं ना it's always useful. जैसे for example, if you skipped the basic videos and intermediate videos while preparing for IIT, and let's say you only did the advanced lectures. Now, in the basic and intermediate videos, I covered a topic which talks about quantity taxation versus lump sum tax. Okay. Now, suppose you didn't do these videos. आपने basic, intermediate कभी नहीं पढ़ा. You directly did the advanced live lectures. So you might have missed this topic. And this is just one diagram. This is just one diagram in Varian. उसका summary एक line में लिखा हुआ है that why lump sum tax causes less welfare loss. I'm just giving you one example. So when you pick up Varian और उस पे जितना भी just the graphs, when you read through the graphs, एक एक line में you keep reading. The beauty of Varian is every graph has 2-3 lines of summary. So when you go ahead and when you read the graph with the summary, it helps you revise those concepts better. Okay? It makes sure that you will do well in the upcoming paper. So that is why I'm just suggesting you to go through this book, because I'm 150% sure that a lot of students have not gone through all the videos on the portal. तो ये एक अच्छा तरीका रहेगा रिवाइज करने का. CUET is a very short paper, then mostly the direct questions are not asked. That's the problem. I think you have to check the 2025 paper one. यही problem हुआ था. The paper was very lengthy. It was very difficult to do 75 questions in 90 minutes. It is extremely lengthy. डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं आते हैं। Okay, theoretical and conceptual one. So, as I said, you will see questions on, which of the following statement are not true, except, ये सारे words बहुत ज़्यादा use हुआ था last year. It was a very difficult paper actually. And you know na that if IIT is given by about 4 to 5,000 students, then CUET is given by about 22,000 plus students, CUET PG Economics. So about 4 to 5 times more people give CUET PG Economics का exam. So this is more competitive. इसको क्लियर करना और इसमें रैंक लाना is more difficult, right? So you have to make sure that now you are more prepared than what you were for those two exams. Consumer behavior can be covered by watching what nothing, as I said in the beginning of the session. If you start watching, then on your portal, the content is for more than 50 hours. You cannot cover in 24 hours. You have to skim through your notes. जो भी आपने पढ़ा लिखा है आज तक वो सारे notes को skim through करो. किसी एक reference book से उनको refer back करो. There is no time left for you to look into the video lectures now. वरना उसी में खो जाओगे. You will not have time to do the questions. So for Indian economy, there was already a video lecture which we did in the live session, which talked about the most often or most frequent questions asked in Indian economy. Most frequently asked questions. Please go through that. वो topics for sure आएंगे ही आएंगे. Revise those topics. Do economic budget and survey of last 3 years. Know all possible government policies. No, especially the policies introduced by government for the farmers, for the women. Where can I get these questions? As I said, these questions would be uploaded only on the portal beta. That's the only way in which I can share. Can we revise through the books shared by Arthapoint for macro? Yes, you can. They are actually made for you to revise these things. You should not. Don't do Indian economy through Ramesh Singh beta. Itna time mat waste karo, please. Through NCRT, I am planning to do a thorough session covering the entire NCRT. I think the next week I will take it. So we will go ahead and we will do a summary of entire NCRT in one day. Take it, do attend that. उसमें we will cover everything. India during independence, before independence, जो भी NCRT में we will cover that. हाँ जी, anything else? So if you need the PDF of Varian and Snyder, I think I had shared in the beginning of the class, but I will share it again. What to do about those 1500 questions? Well, I was expecting you would have done them by now because it's been about 2 months since I shared it. But if you haven't, first do this because this is now more based on CVT. Different schemes introduced by government. So you always divide the different schemes in different parts. Like for example, which schemes go in the banking sector? You read the major schemes, committees, then you go to agricultural sector. Schemes, which committees, like that. So the way to do the scheme is that you make some cheat sheets. You go ahead and you make take colorful sheets, one for banking, one for agriculture. You paste it in your room, and every day before you sleep and every day after you wake up, you look at these things. Similarly, who gave what? These are certain things which you have to remember. Okay. Similarly, some definitions, like if I ask you primary deficit, fiscal deficit, ये बेसिक डेफिनेशन है रेवेन्यू डेफिशिट, ये हर साल आता है, राइट? इफ आई आस्क यू देयर वैल्यू फॉर लास्ट 3 years, यू शुड नो देम. Yes, I am planning to take one on Indian economy, as I said. Devico for CUET, yes. So you have to do solo, Haradomer, you have to do poverty, ways to calculate poverty, Gini coefficient, Lorentz curve, HDI, sustainable development goals. Then you have to do so there is a video which I posted, if you can just look into it. Again, it was recently done on the live side. What is the difference between traditional HDI versus the new HDI? What is gender inequality index? All this can be asked. These tables are given in Indian economy notes you uploaded already. Not all of those. I just had given you those tables which I expected will be important for IIT. DSC paper not required. That's too heavy a level. No. So as I said, if you sit for 10 hours, again, I'm expecting this to be done. You spend about 3 hours doing PYQs and solving these questions. You can spend about 4 hours doing micro revision of those topics that I gave you. And the remaining, you can do some quant. And you can follow this for the next 7 days at least. Then we will revisit where you stand. For stats, the recorded question bank is enough. Yes. But I'll give you more questions. जैसे मैंने बोला अभी, जो ये डे वाइज हम चलेंगे, जैसे जैसे I will give you some task, we will keep doing that. International में I had given you 3 marathons ना. Entire international economics only through those 3 marathons. I am not talking about open economy. वो अलग है. Macro का open economy is different. जिसमें you have to do the import multiplier, Mundell Fleming, J curve, वो अलग है. But जो international है separately, the models of international new trade theories, all of that is covered in 3 marathons. So you can do those through these 3 marathons. How to access these questions in the portal? Just post it in it. As I said, I haven't got it uploaded on the portal yet. Sir will just inform you under which section it gets uploaded. When can I do the mocks? See, mocks should have been done by now, to be very frank. If you haven't done the mocks, you have to adjust it with the PYQs. One day you do a mock and one day you do a PYQ. The second time mock is just for you to do it in a skimmed way. So second time you should not be taking the same amount of time. Second time you will take less time to do that mock. In the syllabus PDF only Domer and Solo are given. Yes, because a lot of these things are actually mentioned as part of Indian economy. So if you go to CUET syllabus, you will find these as part of Indian economy. So this is very disturbing जो उन्होंने जिस तरीके से syllabus को arrange किया है. Like international trade theories they have put in Indian economy. Taxation में dead weight loss जो micro का topic है they have put in Indian economy. ठीक है. Similarly, they have gone ahead and put public and private good, budget, deficit, public debt, FRBM Act in Indian economy. These are not part of Indian economy. They're part of public eco. Similarly, they have plugged in your open economy models and consumption function. So It's a very weird way of giving the syllabus, but what I am telling you can be asked in exam. Yes, I'm referring to my mocks only, but it does not matter. I mean, as long as if you're not enrolled with us, it does not matter. As long as you're practicing mock, it's fine. The idea is for you to do mocks in mocks का मतलब क्या है कि वो 1.5 घंटा आप एक टाइमली मैनर में प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो, right? So whether you do mocks here or you do it with any institute, it does not matter. Mocks करना जरूरी है. The idea is for you to sit for 1.5 hour and do it. And let's say you don't want to do mocks ऐसे, then just pick up a PYQ. कोई भी एक past year paper उठाओ, just pick up past year question paper of CUET and do it in 1.5 hour. The idea is कि वहां 1.5 hour आपको कम ना लगे. You have to make sure that you do in a timely manner. सिर्फ वो time बिठाना जरूरी है. That's the whole idea of giving a mock. How much score is good in a mock? So if you're talking about my mock, the mock level is a bit up. So I think many of you told me that in IIT also questions were from mocks. So ऐसा जरूरी नहीं होता कि जो आपने पढ़ा है mock में मैं वही डालूं. I will put anything which is expected in the mock, right? So for mock of what I have given you, a score of 150 to 170 is also fine. First time में. When you re-give the mock, then I need a score of 250 plus. मतलब तब आपको अच्छे से याद होने चाहिए वो सारे क्वेश्चंस. You should be well averse with all the questions. So when you give the paper the second time, you have to be thorough with it. Yes, you just have a look at question bank. Only if you find relevant for the next 20-25 days, you go through it. Okay? If you feel कि नहीं, you have done enough question practice, you can also skip it. For DSC, approximately how many questions should we get correct for DSC and JNU? So as I said, the agenda is to get 230 plus. So I wrote it in another sheet. You need 230 plus out of 300 in the actual exam to get through DSC, IGIDR, JNU. Based on the level of exam, which changes every year. अगर एग्जाम डिफिकल्ट होगा तो वो 210 भी पहुंच सकता है. इफ एग्जाम इज इजी then it can go till 250 also. What about the ultimate 1500 question? So as I said, if you haven't done till now, आप धीरे धीरे उसको कर सकते हो. But the idea is when I give you something, you have to start doing that immediately, right? So if you haven't done it, pick up about 100 questions from that every day and just do it up, along with other things. जितना प्रैक्टिस करोगे उतना कम है. You have to look at questions practice. How do we improve accuracy in mock? By giving them twice. You give them first time, whatever you score, it is fine. You learn from your mistakes, you improve the second time. The second time you give them, you should score 250 plus. That's it. Same mock paper 2 times. Chapter 14 and chapter 15 I haven't done in Salvator. It's fine. It's fine. But देखो, जैसे for example, last year, I think there were question on future, option, forward, currency swap. These are covered in those Salvator chapters, जिसका आपको recording दिया हुआ है. अब 2025 में ये नहीं आए, but 24 में they were there. That is why doing paper analysis is important. It helps you understand कि कौन से सारे topics you have to cover in detail, right? So 14 and 15 have these concepts. How to divide 90 minutes. Okay. So what I will do is, we'll do जैसे हमने IIT में किया था, we did one mock live on YouTube. We'll take a session within this week in which I will keep an actual mock paper live with you guys, and we will finish it in 90 minutes. and I will show you how to do that. Okay, so this is a task on me. I will show you how to do a mock paper. I'll make a mock paper and I'll come with that. Gokhale cutoff, it's not much. It goes down to 160, 170. Thank you so much, beta. I just hope that you guys do very well in CUET. The next 20-25 days, believe me, jitna difficult it is for you, usse thoda more difficult it is for me. Because if you sleep at 1, I'll sleep at 2, 2:30 preparing content for you. So we have to make sure that we do very well in CUET. We have to make sure that we work together. हम अपना maximum hard work दे in the next 20 days and we ace this exam. UGC net PYQ is relevant for CUET as both are slightly, So yes and no. Yes, because they are prepared by same agency. No, because the syllabus differs. So for example, in UGC net, they will ask you about what is care. In UGC net, they will ask you about different educational policy. But in CUET, they will never ask you that. So syllabus differs. बट हाँ, अगर मैं सिर्फ यूजीसी नेट से माइक्रो के एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लूं, इट मे हेल्प यू, या सिर्फ मैक्रो एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लूं, इट मे हेल्प यू. BHU cutoff, again it goes all the way. Again, it depends हर साल कितना होगा, but it can go up to 160, 170 also. Thank you so much. Thank you, beta. Today is day 1. You take this as day 1. Although we are meeting late because many students said that they have internal, so they wanted me to meet in evening. I wanted to keep this morning May, but since they said that they have an internal, you consider this as day 1. So now we meet every evening to do these sessions. You feel underconfident because you know how you solve a question. I will tell you. You solve a question like this. Most of you solve a question like this. Who connected welfare economics to consumer surplus? Marshall. Done. Like this. You don't solve a question like this. Who connected welfare economics to consumer surplus? And then you think and then you answer. ऐसा नहीं करते हो आप. What do? You read a question, you read answer. You read question, answer. Read question, answer. Question, answer. That is not the way to solve. That is what is making you underconfident. To gain confidence, you have to make sure that when you read a question, you don't read the answer. You let your mind think. Okay? So when I see perfect substitute, I have to let my mind think. When I see perfect substitute, I don't have to see the answer and say, Acha, constant MRS. Yeah, now I know. When I see perfect substitute, I have to think perfect substitute, U is equal to AX plus BY, MRS is equal to A by B. A by B is a constant, not diminishing MRS. So you understanding? That is what is making you not solve in the final exam. Okay? Hanji, anything else? Thank you so much, beta. So, can we meet tomorrow? So, what I have in mind now is that every day when I meet with you, we solve few questions live. And then I also give you few questions to practice, which you solve yourself. And then you also go ahead and do the past year question papers and mock papers yourself. But I will bring some tricky questions and we will do them together in the live sessions.
See, that's the whole thing, no? When you will give an exam in the actual one, it's also computer based exam. Here also it's a computer based exam. So mock may, if you do well with a computer based exam, that's why mock is important. You understand exactly how a computer based exam looks. And when you do well with these exams, you can do well on the day of exam, right? So you don't, there will be no time to write the question in the actual paper, na? You have to go ahead and think that you're sitting in an exam like environment, even at your home. वो करोगे तो ही होगा आगे. So don't spend time writing, don't spend time reading.
See, for example, I will tell you what I would do. So the moment I would read quasi-linear preference, my mind will start doing it immediately. कि quasi-linear, अच्छा ठीक है, utility function looks like this. इसी टाइम पे मेरा माइंड स्टार्ट करना शुरू हो जाता है एनालाइज करना. इट इज सो क्विक बिकॉज यू हैव डन सो मेनी टाइम्स कि अच्छा व्हाट विल हैपन टू इनकम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ गुड एक्स, विल इट बी जीरो? अच्छा, विल एक्स बी नॉट अ फंक्शन ऑफ इनकम एंड ओनली प्राइजेस? वाई विल बी ओनली अ फंक्शन ऑफ इनकम and prices? So you have to be very quick. Your mind has to think 10 things the moment you read a word. If that has started happening, so believe me, you're on the right track. Right? So if I read, okay, the question says lex preferences, I should know that these are just dots. अच्छा, कोई भी डॉट होता है तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली कॉन्वेक्स सेट तो हो ही जाता है. डन. So you have to know each and every property of everything. When you know that, you will do well in exam.
Author PDF, ठीक है, I will share. Just can you just put that in the Telegram group once? Assignments, yes, I am posting only on the portal, but does not mean that we'll not take it here. We'll every day I will be taking questions on YouTube as well, where we will be handling tricky questions for the upcoming CUT exam. When will we start with macro? So my plan is that in 7 days we finish micro plus maths completely because they are the heavy ones. And in day 8 to 12, we finish macro, international, and growth. That is what the plan I have created. Yes, every day I will come and I'll do a live session. Don't worry. All courses. Whatever I upload for the next 20 days, all courses. Yes. So it should be, so I cannot tell one the time, I'll tell you a space. So it will be anything between 5:30 to 7 p.m. that we will keep the live session. ठीक है? Yeah, 5:30 to 7 in the evening. Okay. So then we'll meet tomorrow. I hope that all of you will start preparing yourself. Pick up consumer theory for today. I know it's a topic you have done many times. Consumer theory में सारा utility maximization, ICs, revealed preference, consumer surplus, जो भी part 1 है आपके CUT syllabus का. This is the first thing which your CUT syllabus says. Consumer theory or behavior, demand, utility, indifference curve, revealed preference, and consumer surplus. Make sure you revise all of them today through the questions, through the PYQs, and by looking into the book. Okay, thank you.